Hey brothers and sisters, thanks for joining me. Today we're looking at Exodus 13, where it talks about giving instructions for the Passover. The Passover season is fast upon us. Maybe you've been in the Torah movement, part of Torah. People have said, hey, keep the Torah, it's still relevant. And you say, okay. They talk about feast, doing the feast and the feast days, and it's, okay, well, how do I do it, or when do I do it? Well, that's a big debate, I guess, the calendar. This is not a calendar video, but I'm sharing something that I saw in the Word that I believe really just kind of answers, at least for us, when a starting point is. Some people say follow the sun only. Some people say follow the moon. Some people say sun and moon. Some people say wheat. Follow the grass, the abib, the young, tender seed. Which is it? Well, if you've been a part of this channel for any amount of time, you know that I believe that the Word is written in His creation up above in the heavens, in the heavenly scroll. It's also written in the scriptures, in what we call the Bible, collection of books. But I believe it to be written in His creation as well, not only heavenly, but also in this physical body that we have is like a temple. It's a tabernacle, essentially, right? And so what I'm not doing here is promoting palm reading or fortune telling or horoscopes or tarot cards or any forms of those witchcraft, even though some believe that, Torah is, the plural of Torah. It's instructions, it's guidance. So we know that the enemy twists things. We know that he corrupts them, that it causes believers to just not take a look at things. We put up our little cross finger and we say, demon curse, don't look at the stars, that's horoscopes, and don't look at numerology and gematria and all these things. And one thing I want to express is that the enemy is always wanting to counterfeit the original, and the best counterfeits will most closely resemble the original. So we don't want to look too much into the counterfeits, but we want to look at the original, get back to Yah's Word, His creation. We want to understand our Creator in His creation. So we're looking at Exodus 13, verse 4, and it says, today in the month of Abib, you are going out. So just looking here, this little diagram I put together is kind of walk us through this. You can, I'll download it. I'll put it into the comments section, then you can download it and share it with people if you'd like. But it says, today in the month of Abib, you are going out. So this is the Exodus record. Israel is about to leave. And that word Abib is H24. It's grain. It's ear. It's like the ear of a corn. And then verse 6, he says, you're to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. And we know that leaven can be bad doctrine. It could be following moons and suns and stars and, who knows, whatever. But I just saw this. I wanted to kind of highlight it in this video. This verse, Exodus 13, 9 through 10, it says, and it shall be to you as a sign, talking about Abib, the beginning of the year. So the beginning of the year shall be a sign, and that word sign is the Hebrew word oath. And we speak an oath, make a promise. The stars are for signs, they are for seasons. So that's Aleph Ua Tav, Aleph Vav Tav. Stars are for signs on your hand, which is the Hebrew word yad, which is representative of a hand in the Paleo. So this is Paleo Hebrew, Paleo script, and these are pictographs. And it shall be as a memorial, which is the Hebrew word zikron, or it's rooted in the word zakar, which means a mark. It shall be a mark between your eyes. The word eyes is ayin, which is the Hebrew letter ayin. And that kind of looks like it's the sun in the middle spot, right? And that should be the Torah of Yahweh may be in your mouth, so that the Torah may be in your mouth, and the peh. So the peh, the mouth is on the head. For with a strong hand, that's the word Yod, Yahuwah has brought you out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep this statute at its season, which is Moedim, at its ease on, from year to year. So from the waters and the hands and the waters, you've got Yod, Mem, He, from year to year, the Yams, from day to day at other speech, night into night, gives us wisdom. So looking at these, each one of these pictograph, Paleo-Hebrew pictograph letters, we've got the letter Kof. Pictographically, it's like the palm of a hand. It's translated palm, or branches, hand, sole, like the sole of your hand or the sole of your foot. So think of like a palm branch, has fingers on it. A psalmist, palmist, they use their fingers to string instruments. Think of branches from a menorah. So these are all pictures, mind pictures within the Hebrew paleographic alphabet that represents something. They tell a deeper story, and all these words, all of life, really just ties back into the Paleo-Hebrew pictographs. The Yod or the Yud, pictographically, it's like an arm with a hand on it. It's extending an extension. It's often found at the beginning of words, and it connotes action. So think of the Creator's name, Yahuwah. He begins by stretching forth his hand, as part of his creation. He speaks the word out of his peh, out of his mouth, stretching forth his hand. He stretches the heavens above, right? Aleph, pictographically, that's kind of like the ox. That kind of represents Abba, the Father. It's representative of a leader or father. In the Hebrew, it's silent. If it begin at the beginning of the Hebrew word, it's a silent vowel, if you will, and it's the beginning of the Hebrew alphabet. So the word father in Hebrew is Aleph Bet, Ab, and it's the invisible silent one entering into his creation. And you have Ta, pictographically, that's like an X, looks like an X, and it signifies a mark. You sign on the X. The X marks the spot. Now it's the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet and is representative of the end. And it also looks like a cross. It looks like, it is finished, right? Peh, of course, we talked about pictographically, it's like a mouth. So it represents an opening, like that of a human mouth or the mouth of a river. It's on the faces of mankind, so we have the mouth on our faces. The word for faces in Hebrew is panim, panaim. And so when we pan left and right, we take a panoramic view. We pan across, we pan for gold, going back and forth. So that's where mankind speaks the words. The words of Yahweh are spoken through the mouth. How the issues of life, right, flow through the mouth. Mem, so that's representative of waters. It's kind of almost a combination of Sheen and Kof in some sorts. But it's, the waters. The word Shamaim means Shah, means to listen or turn. Shamar, listen. Shamaim, Ma'im is waters in Hebrew. So this is, Mem pictographically is like that of water. So the heavens are Shamaim. So we look and turn and listen to the waters above us. And it represents movement, flowing, sometimes even chaos or life just in general. So Yah leads his people out of the waters, out of Mitzrayim, which means signifying waters. He leads us through the waters. Then the Paleo-Hebrew ayin, pictographically, it's like that of an eye. So it represents sight or insight or focus. It can also represent the sun. You've seen maybe in cultures the eye of Ra or the third eye, or some of this stuff. It's kind of points to Yah, but they get this from creation essentially. It also can be like a fruit. It has a seed inside of it. So we see either the sun in the middle, or like a seed is in the middle, the sun is in the middle. It can be S-U-N or S-O-N. So the seed, the sun, is in the middle. And then last we have the Vav, the Wa, or Ua, pictographically. So that can be like a peg or a nail. It's a connector. Grammatically in Hebrew, the Hebrew word for and is this shown by the Ua, the Wa. And so and connects sentences, connects words. The hand is just an and with a hey, right? H, hey, look over here. Hey, look over here. Somebody waving their hand. So the hand is actually really what distinguishes us from most of Yah's other animal creation. And so we are able to do things that other species are not able to do. So tying all that together in with what I'm talking about here, like I said, we're not reading palms, but we're just looking at these letters pictographically, and looking at some of what the world does teach. They actually do tie in palm reading into the heavens above, coincidentally enough. Things that are coincidence, they coincide. So they are counterfeiting the original, but maybe Yah has put this, his alphabet, even in our hand, just to tell us when the year begins. So we have the hand, which is the palm. It's a branch. It's the Hebrew letter Kaf, right? So Kaf, it shall be a sign upon your hand. And if you look at the lines on most hands, you know, people are unique and different, but this is the common that you have. I see this as the top representing the Tropic of Cancer, which is like claws, essentially. Tropic of Cancer is the top rail. So the sun moves between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn down here on the bottom. And that the vernal equinox during springtime, every year, the sun is right on the middle of the path on the ecliptic, and it crosses over the equator. So really, I see this as Yah showing this. We have the Aleph, the Tav, the Wa pinching, and the mouth. The mouth of the hand opens up. You have the arm here stretching out its hand. And so the sun passes over the equinox, and we pass from the death of winter, and we spring into life, and we begin a new year, or ear of corn, or yam. That word year is yam, as his hand leads us through the waters. So if we read the palm from a creation from Yahuwah's word perspective, we can see that in his creation, in his temple, his tabernacle where he dwells, not only in the heaven of heavens, but he dwells within us, he has us written on the palms of his hands. So pretty cool. I just thought I'd share that. I hope this blessed you. Sure would love to hear from you guys. Give me some feedback, some comments, questions. Sure do appreciate, sharing videos, sharing your heart in the comments. It's definitely a blessing to read people's comments, even if you think I'm crazy or we disagree. But I think y'all showing us a lot of things in these days and times. So sure love you. Shalom.